impeachment, Iran, the upcoming election. Welcome to the year 2020. But despite all the political turbulence, Congress just passed legislation with rare bipartisanship.
USMCA.
USMCA.
Like the song, YMCA.
US, Mexico, Canada. I don't know if it has an acronym.
Both Democrats and Republicans are taking credit for the US-Mexico-Canada Agreement, aka NAFTA 2.0. It makes several changes to the old trade agreement between the three countries, with provisions to help improve labor standards and boost struggling industries like manufacturing and dairy farming.
It's a victory for America's workers.
Instead of jobs leaving for overseas, they will be returning back home.
But what do Washington's promises mean for communities outside the Beltway? And will any of this have an impact on the 2020 race? Is USMCA better than NAFTA for your business?
Yes, our initial perception is yes, it is. Parts have to be sourced in North America. People don't have to be concerned about a layoff or a migration of these parts to south of the border or to Canada. Lets us look at investing and expanding the facility, providing more jobs to the community.
Meet David Jenkins. He helps run Welded Tubes, an auto parts manufacturer in Ashtabula County, Ohio. It's actually the childhood home of the current U.S. Trade Representative, Robert Lighthizer. When he was growing up here, the area had a robust manufacturing sector. Goods shipped out of Ohio's ports, traveling through the St. Lawrence Seaway and into the Atlantic. But as factories closed and companies relocated, the region struggled to recover, becoming what's now known as the Rust Belt.
NAFTA means jobs, good-paying American jobs.
When NAFTA was enacted, there was hope it would bring back those manufacturing jobs. But some say it did the opposite. A lot of people in this community blame NAFTA for some of the job loss that they've seen around here. What's your take on that?
There was a negative impact of job losses from the steel industry and automotive in this region when NAFTA was enacted. That downsize has been continuing or stagnant for a long period of time.
There was a drop in manufacturing jobs following NAFTA in the long run, but some economists argue other factors contributed to the decline. Once the 2008 recession hit, places like Ashtabula really felt it. The county saw a steady decline in business and population growth. And though there are some signs of rejuvenation, nearly 20% of the county lives in poverty. There's been a lot of struggle here. What's happened in the last couple of decades?
It's my opinion that the overall dysfunction of the political process in the United States, both parties were talking past their constituents.
Is that changing?
The hope of the region was with the election of our current president, it would change.
Do you think people around here have seen that change since Donald Trump was elected?
Yes, I do think the workforce in the region has seen a change in the amount of attention given to trade agreements to advantage the U.S., level the playing field.
We will terminate NAFTA and get a much better and stronger and fairer deal.
Trump visited Ashtabula on the campaign trail. 12 days later, he won the county in a 19-point swing, and Ashtabula went red for the first time since 1984. Is it common for candidates to visit Ashtabula?
No. I think the last one that I've been told was John Kennedy.
I visited Ray Gruber. To say he's a big history buff is an understatement.
This is my presidential wall.
He has a lot of history in this area. His family has lived in Ashtabula for generations.
In the 60s and 70s, life was good around here. Then all of a sudden the 80s came around, and I was lucky. I didn't go through the layoffs.
Sounds like a bit of an anomaly.
Yeah.
Ray's also the president of the local AFL-CIO. It's part of the largest labor federation in the country, and it's one of the USMCA's biggest endorsers. Is the USMCA deal a better deal for the workers you represent than NAFTA?
Yes. More protection built in, more stability built in. But the proof will be once it's enacted.
Who do you personally credit the USMCA deal to? Is it Congress or the White House?
Oh, Congress. And then without labor signing, Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the House, said the bill was not going for a vote.
Not everyone agreed. USMCA, who do you credit that to, Congress or the White House?
The White House.
A lot of people say, though, that a lot of the provisions in USMCA are things that Democrats have been advocating for a while. What's your take on that?
If that's true, they have not been messaging their involvement correctly. They're stuck on a different message right now.
The USMCA isn't just about the economics. It's also about the politics. And it has the potential to win votes in important swing counties like Ashtabula, as long as the substance and the messaging actually resonates. The USMCA trade deal, there are a lot of people we've talked to in this community who are pretty hopeful about what that might mean.
They did not get country of origin labeling in for beef and pork.
Why is that a problem?
If we want to help people raising cattle make a living, it's going to benefit them and it's going to benefit the consumer if we can label where food comes from.
Marty Townsend raises cattle in a rural part of Ashtabula. She's seen the number of nearby farms drop over the last few decades. We talked about the presence of the dairy farm industry here. Do you think USMCA will benefit them?
No, I don't. Canada will allow 3% of their milk use to be imported from this country. The problem is we have too much milk, and that tiny little bit isn't going to do anything.
The USMCA will still need to be ratified, so it could be a while before we truly understand the winners and losers here. And that goes back to the politics of the deal. Is it enough to convince voters that our political leaders are looking out for their best interests? There's an election coming right up. What do you think people in Washington don't understand about this community and communities like it?
I think they just don't understand what it's like to worry about money all the time. After decades of being in middle America, in the place that the people on the coast don't like to think about very much, there's a lot of resentment that the good jobs are gone, that the farms are gone, and that nobody on the coast really seems to notice or care or think it's important.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.